How's it going? I missed you. It's been 2 weeks. We're finally back. Welcome to Caliber Corner Season 6, episode number 295, part 2, Take a Hike, Essentials for Enjoying the Outdoors. And today, we're talking bags. We're going to go down the rabbit hole of hiking bags and backpacks versus milsurp and whatever you can buy in the store and all that fun stuff. When we met 2 weeks ago, we were discussing like essential outerwear, outdoor gear, boots, and again, a lot of it really comes down to more or less what you can afford and what's most comfortable for you. You're going to find when it comes to bags, when we start doing a search on Amazon, things start at $11 and then you can spend whatever you want on a backpack anymore. I mean, it really does not matter. You can drop $1,000 or more on a bag if you want to. But we're going to talk about day hikes, hiking, the basic essentials, what you do take into consideration when you decide you want to go with a bag. Let's let a few people show up on the YouTube side and we'll have our illustrious panel introduce themselves today. So joining us over here on this side off to my east is Squibload. Squibby, how's your morning going? You good?
I managed to stuff 4 sandwiches down my throat before we went live, so I guess it's a good start.
Good God, man. Dude, go get an Eggo or something.
Dude, I was hungry.
Does your wife not feed you or what?
Okay, so I found a new weight loss technique. When I go to my son's football games, I don't get any concessions. I don't eat anything. No dinner, no nothing.
How do you survive the smell of the popcorn? That would just drive me nuts, dude. There's no way I can survive that.
I just I try to stay focused. So
focus on the game, man. Focus on the game.
Yeah. So I actually found out that if I skip dinner one night a week, that I lose weight faster than taking hikes.
Well, that dude, I posted my weight loss video and I saw you posted a comment on it. And for me, it's just been vegetables and protein and getting away from my 2 breakfast burritos every morning for breakfast. And
I almost stopped at Trader Joe's yesterday on the way home.
The Santa Fe rice cauliflower is
I think awesome. I want to try that.
It's so spicy and that doesn't add any fat at all. You can mix it. If you just want heat in your veggies, it's just awesome. Like spicy heat. Oh, dude. $2 a bag or something, $3 a bag. I mean,
I'm thinking about cutting up some peppers from the garden and adding it.
That's what I do. So, that's what I do is I go get and squash and everything I get from the market. So since I can't grow here, but yeah, man, there you go.
Yeah, but last night I didn't eat, so this morning I woke up hungry.
You're like, I dropped 2 pounds. I got to fix that.
Pretty much. But we'll be taking the dog for a walk later, so hopefully that burns off some. I mean, it's not quite hiking. It really isn't. Hiking is really like being in the outdoors.
Yes.
And, I mean, if you're on a paved path or something like that, it's still good to get out, get exercise, fresh air. You can.
It's a hiking trail.
Yeah,
it's a walking path, right? Yep, that's right. Like how my mountain bike's an urban cruiser because I don't have knobby tires on it.
Oh, geez.
I'm going to do a video on that. The crossover SUV of bicycles. I love that bike. That thing is so awesome. So comfy. Once you go balloon tires, you never go back. I'm telling you. Once you go beachcomber tires, it's game over. So,
right.
All right, let's move things down to Gizzard Gary because just like in real life, he's down south in Kansas. He's below Nebraska. So, Gary, how's your morning going, man? Are you doing good or what?
Well, not too bad for never really going to bed since I did my show last night. So.
Good God, man, you're pulling an all night. If you start dozing off, I'm just I'll let it go. We're not gonna show up with the Sharpie and start writing on your face,
I dozed off for a couple hours, in between midnight and probably 4 a.m. And I took a nap right before the show. So honestly, I'll probably crash later on, but I'm good right now anyway.
I am so looking forward to retirement, Gary. You have no idea. I'm 6.5 years out right now, and it's going to be a glorious day. That's all I can say.
You set your own hours at that point.
My old man does that, and I just admire that. I want to be like that. I want to be like my dad when I grow up. So, yeah. So, Gary, what's going on with your channel? What's going on in your life, man? It's you staying busy or what?
Yeah. I've been doing an awful lot with Amazon reviews and stuff like that. And the other half of my video life, been busy doing that. And of course, just did the show last night.
Okay.
And I've got some things to review. I've got, I've got kids been out of town, so they're on their way back from Arkansas. So there's definitely things going on and stuff like that. Life is good. Weather's been great, cooler, and I'm looking forward to the fall. And
I'm done with the heat, dude.
Football season and everything else, all that.
I just want the damn ticks and mosquitoes to die so I can go get lost off in the woods and not come home like covered in a bit to.
I had to pull a trick off of me last week, and the only place I had been outdoors was attending a funeral, and I stood under a tree for like 5 minutes. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, I bought a little tool called Tick Check, I think is what it's called. It's like a little barbed fork that you can use to pop them off, which is kind of nice. I only got bit twice this summer, but it was, I don't know how I was completely, changed and everything when I went to sleep and woke up and had one on my hip and one on my ankle over 2 days. I was like, really? So anyway, kind of annoying. So Gary, do me a favor. We didn't discuss this before the show starts, but since I'm going to be showing backpacks from Amazon, if you want to post your affiliate link on the chat side so people can click on the link, you have one, right? So people can just click there and then make their purchase. Let's help Gary out because, I'm just going to be showing backpacks off of Amazon. I just wanted a place that would have a good spread of bags. You go buy your bags from whoever you want, but the nice thing is instead of going to 8 different websites to look at all these different brands, we've got them all here, by different price points, whatever you want to spend. So
I've used this link before. It actually saved me on shipping.
Wow. Holy crap. Okay.
So what I put one of the items from his tech store in my cart, and it went from $19 in shipping to like $6 in shipping or something like that because I had, it was $6 more. I put $6 more in my cart getting something from his tech store and waived the shipping because I went right over the threshold to get free shipping. So
look at that. With Gizzard Gary, you win every day. I mean, seriously, you cannot. That's what it is.
Then I've been back to buy more. It was the selfie stick adapter. Those are good for tripods. And those are, if you've ever had a tripod fall over, those are easy to break. Yeah. So keeping a couple spares is a good idea. You also got, I don't know if you still have it in your tech store, Gary, that you got that little tripod with the small one. That one's good if you're trying to film underneath a vehicle. I've used it there, and I've used
when I go to the range, I have that mini tripod. So that's what I angle at me as I'm shooting. Okay. So it points right up. Instead of having a tripod in front of the firing line, I can put it right there off to my side. Very, very, and then sometimes I'll take a second one and set it off to my right. And then with my Canon, I'll zoom in on the target. So whenever I do a lot of those pistol videos, if you watch me in those bays that I shoot in at the Isaac Walton range, where I've done probably the last 2 years worth of pistol videos, I use 2 little mini tripods generally because then people around me don't really notice and don't ask questions and stuff. Not that I care, but it just kind of respects people's privacy,
And with the affiliate links in the stores, I don't know if you guys ever get asked because your channels are bigger than mine, what camera do you use? What tripod do you use? What mic, lapel mic do you use? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you guys put that stuff in your store, then people can go, all right, these guys use this stuff. They've been using it longer than me or they've been doing this longer than me, or these guys, make better kinds of videos than me or whatnot. Maybe I want to try to use some of the same stuff. Put the stuff that works in your store.
Well, here's the thing with me. I've been using the same Sony, the Alpha 5000 for 8 years. That's what I film all my cleaning videos with it. And then the Canon is one I bought 2 years ago. The problem with those two is that I think both of them are out of production. Whenever that happens on cameras, the prices just go nuts new. Now you can go over to eBay and you can buy some in a box that you can still usually find some gems that haven't been used yet, or you can buy used. Because I thought about buying just the body for the Alpha 5000 because mine's got removable lenses, DSLR, and that camera's been a hero. Other than not being able to hook a mic into it externally, which kind of pisses me off. I can't because then I just have to use the mic on the top. That's why I like the Canon because I can have an external mic with the wind buffer on it and stuff. That's why that's been a little more useful for windy conditions. But the problem with those cameras is that sometimes they go out of production. But still, you're right. If somebody has one that they're gonna like, they can definitely use it. Morning, sir. Morning, Rich. So, well, we're at it. Let's have Rich. You're on point, brother. How's your morning going? How you doing, dude?
I just got home. I had to go get blood work this morning, as Gary knows from last night.
Oh, dude.
Did you ever get any sleep, Gary?
A couple hours.
This is the snooze edition of Caliber Corner is what this is. I said if either of you two guys fall asleep, we're not gonna hold it against you. We'll just
for you people who watched my show, I have the same damn shirt on. I had them for the show.
So do I.
Sue me.
Just put a fresh coating Old Spice underneath, and you guys are ready to go to McDonald's. I'm telling you.
I got up this morning. I just grabbed whatever I had on last night, put that back on to run to the damn blood bank, or not blood bank, but the lab to get the blood work done.
Yeah.
And then I got in and was like, oh, crap, it's 9 o'clock. I better see if Travis is doing his show today.
Yeah. Well, Rich, while you're here, as usual, tell us about your shows, man. What do you do for podcasts? Sometimes we have some new people join in. You never know. So what do you have to offer? What's up?
Well, Saturday nights at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, going by the old TBS time.
Absolutely.
Got the wrestling show on Wrestling Unloaded channel.
Okay.
And we don't just talk wrestling. We'll also talk like sports stuff and whatnot. Like we'll talk college football and stuff like that, which my show last week got taken down because my wife had the TV on in the background and CBS popped me for copyright for NCIS.
Stupid. Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is you can't see Jason Stewart going all ballistic because even though Ohio State won, apparently their quarterback, according to him, sucks. So
I'm don't even get me started on football this year. As a Nebraska fan, it's been
you should
honestly,
be
I
used
don't
to
even
it by now.
worry about it. I watch it when I can, but I enjoy my time. I go to the range on Saturdays during the football games. That's where my time is better spent, and I'll check the scoreboard. Not that I've given up on it. I still support the team, but I'm just like, I'd rather not be miserable for 4 hours and just go do something I enjoy and then come back and deal with the
As a
fallout.
Nebraska fan, you should be used to it by now. It's the same thing for the
I'm numb
last
to it.
20
I'm
years.
Rich, I'm totally my dad loved my dad to death, but he's basically just not honestly given up on the Huskers, but he follows like 4 or 5 other teams that aren't even in our division. So I'm like, yeah. My dad, you watch a Husker game? He's like, who? I'm like, oh, don't even go there, Pops. You raised me to be a Husker
built an
fan.
altar in the basement
And look at
trying
what
to resurrect
happened.
Tom Osborne yet?
What's that?
It says your dad built an altar in the basement trying to resurrect Tom Osborne.
Pretty much. It just, he's, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's super frustrating. We don't give up, and a big part of it is when it comes to sports. We got a lot of the Husker sports are huge in our state because we don't have pro teams, and there's a lot of we got some good hockey teams, baseball teams, and stuff like that. But since we don't have a pro team, it's you kind of go with the locals. But yeah.
Closest to you is what? Kansas City or maybe
a lot of people here are
Raiders
Chiefs fans or Broncos fans. That's the majority. Yeah. Chiefs or Broncos. As a kid growing up, I watched Cubs baseball because WGN was on, or we'd watch Braves because of TBS. Those are the two main. Those games.
Those were the two baseball games you could be sure to catch on a nationwide.
No
or the Mets. If you had WWR, you could catch the Mets games too.
Oh, poor little Ozzy out there. As a Chiefs fan, I'm not ready to talk football yet. I didn't watch the game, but everybody, I guess it was pretty bad for Chiefs fans. It was a 1 point.
Well, my team doesn't start playing until tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Who's your team, Rich? Who do you like?
Steelers, man. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, that was it. I grew up as a Steelers fan. We did watch Raiders and Saints. We watched a lot. We would watch whatever NFL team was on. My dad wasn't really biased towards any one particular NFL team except like the Chiefs. But anyway, so. And then, Rich, you got another show. Did I miss that?
Yes. No, we started talking about college football. So.
I know. We went from wrestling to college football and now back to – so your other program is called what, and when can we see it?
It is This Week Unloaded, and it's on the Unloaded Media channel. That is Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Basically, we used to talk about news and stuff, but since Midnight Range has disappeared, we've basically taken over his forte, and we'll just talk about anything and everything on that show.
He's still out there. I mean, I know what he's doing on Facebook and Instagram. He's a very, very busy man. I mean, the guy's got – I mean, he's leveled up in life in terms of his career and what he does. So he's really but
it's I still miss the closer, man.
I do. That was the best Sunday night ever right there. I got that done. Now we got Gary. Now we got Gary to carry us through, man. Gary can carry the torch. So yeah.
Well, I think we're carrying the torch.
Well, you guys too. Everybody is. There's still so many good podcasts out there. You guys
took over the genre when he stopped doing his show.
Hey, here's the thing. I've got so many YouTube channels I'm subscribed to. I have no subscription services at all, other than having Amazon Prime and whatever's available on Prime to watch. I have no Netflix, no Hulu, nothing. I have no Paramount, no Peacock, nada. So
we have that because the wife and kids watch that stuff. I'm on YouTube mostly anymore.
Yeah.
Watching different tech channels and whatnot on YouTube.
Yep. All right, man. So, wow. Why don't we go ahead and give a little shout out on the YouTube side and see who's out there? So I just real quick, I think we're going to be able to do an episode this next week. Yeah. Next week I'll be able to do an episode on Saturday. Probably going to be a short one. I do have a family event coming up next week, but we will meet on Saturday, 8 a.m. as usual. And I think we'll do a part 3. So I want to get into gear. Like when you go hiking, what kind of crap do you take with you? Today's going to be the bags. So, or if you do any hiking or camping, we can also maybe throw some camping out there, but hiking is kind of the focus for today. So that's what's going to happen. Real quick on the YouTube side, we got Tactical Fud out there. We got Kevin Jung out there, M. Gabriel, Gizzard Gary, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy, John Z, Newark Outcast with disabilities is out there. Good morning, John. First of the 740s in his house. We got Defense Dad out there. He wants you guys to send me your backpack pics. All right, if you've got some going on. Razor JB in the house, Gunmetal Guy USA is out there too. Tony York's watching. Let's see what's out there. Who else is going on? Gizzard Gary's out there pulling double duty. The whole Squib Empire's out there too. As for me, real quick, just kind of some stuff that's upcoming. As soon as I can, I want to buy a CZ Shadow 2 compact. That has just got my attention, depending on how well it fits the hand. It's a beautiful looking gun. They're starting to show up now in videos. On YouTube, I saw one on TFB TV, and now Honest Outlaw Reviews did one. And I've always wanted to carry my Shadow 2 as a carry gun, but it's so heavy and so big and so damn expensive. If it would ever get used in some kind of a self-defense situation, I wouldn't want to lose it. Because now granted, you can get one for maybe $1,000 or $1,100 now, but they were $1,300 guns. What I don't know is what the compact Shadow 2 compact is going to sell for. I'm going to guess probably $1,000. I don't think it's going to be much cheaper. I'd say $999. Rich, what do you think about that? Have you seen videos on that now?
Oh yeah, I want one.
Yeah, they're such good guns. I mean, they're awesome. I love my Walther PDP. That's my bedside gun, and I got a G17 on the other side, just Gen 5 with the light on it. But that just such a smooth. Here's the funny thing about Shadow 2. You can say that money doesn't buy accuracy, but anybody that's ever shot my Shadow 2 after going with me to the pistol range, especially beginners, they shoot better with that gun. It's so heavy and so well balanced. The trigger is so smooth. You can't not shoot better with that gun. We always see groups improve. I'm like, oh, this is great. How much is it? It's like $1,100. oh, never mind. I'll just go ahead and stick with my G3, Yeah. So, anywho. Yeah, Kevin June out there, that Shadow 2 compact is legit. I'm grabbing one ASAP. I think it's going to be a hot seller just because it's 30 ounces. It's going to be heavy, but say no worse than like a P226 SIG or a 1911. I think it's 15 plus 1 is the capacity on it. And then I don't know if you guys saw this, High Point is reselling their 995 Classic, the Gen 1. High Points are now back for sale. Gary, did you see that? Did you get the ad in the mail on that? Did you see it?
Let me unmute and I'll tell you. Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
I've got the Gen 1. I had a Gen 1 back in the 90s, sold it, bought another one. Actually, I traded my Jimenez JA22 for another 995. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a front sight on it, but it does have a red dot on the top. So I'm tempted to buy one of those Gen 1s. No M-Lock, no Picatinny, just straight up Planet of the Apes stock is what they call it. So because it looks like the ones from the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
Do you have a Gen 1, Gary, back in the day or not?
No, mine's a tactical stock.
Okay. And I think High Point did sell those stocks for the longest time anyway. It's not like it took much for them to fire the mold back up again to make them again. But I think the new ones have thread barrels on them. That was one difference. I think that was the one change that they made to it. And that might be about it. And then obviously the new internal mechanical updates would be there to go along with their current carbine production. Because I think the insides are just a little tiny bit different. Because I've got an early production model now, like early 2000s model. I think it's slightly different inside than the new ones that have the more advanced rail on them. But I mean, lifetime guarantee. If I ever had a problem with that, I could get parts for it. And that's a cool thing because they haven't changed them in so long. So Bull Carrier Group on that thing's like a small brick. If you ever take the cover off and see one, it's like 2 pounds of cast pot metal that absorbs the inertia of the 9mm. So not very refined, but just fun to shoot and pretty reliable. So. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to talk about, hiking packs in general, bags. What is your preference? Anytime you've ever gone hiking, what have you done? Have you repurposed a camping bag? Have you gone the milsurp route? We're going to show you that, as always, is kind of the philosophy on this channel. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get yourself set up with stuff. You can get good, reliable gear without spending too much money. And I'll show you my bag that I bought and why I bought this bag and so on. Squib, you've got a lot of experience hiking. You've done a lot with the family. You've gone and explored Nebraska on foot and stuff. Any hiking you've ever done, what is kind of what do you choose for the bag? What guides your decision for what bag you're going to use? Or do you just use one bag and it's your all-purpose bag? What's your go-to, Squib? What do you use?
I mean, most of the time when I go hiking, I don't actually carry a bag.
Yeah.
I would say
you guys are just going out for a couple hours and that's it. You're not going to go, you're going to go to a destination and come back,
Right. I mean, if I've got a bag, it might be something to carry my camera gear or something like that. I carry a bag when I go hunting though. And that it's kind of the same thing. I look for something that's going to store everything that I've got, that's going to have pouches for certain items that I want to get to quicker, or to be able to separate certain things so that they don't maybe bump into each other or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking for comfort. If I've got to wear it for a long time. I actually tested out a surplus backpack at NRAM this year. I put it on and tried it out for the first time. I carried it around for 8 hours, 9 hours that day. And by the end of the day, I was kind of sore from it, not from the weight, but just the way it kind of gouged into me.
There's a lot of padding that they put on current bags. There's like center channel gel foam they put in the middle, or just a big padding on the back of it. And that, I love that on mine because it definitely pushes the pack off your back a little bit and balances it better, and then gives you that, you don't get the chafing, you don't get the poking. It's just it makes it comfortable. So here I'm just looking at Army Surplus World is where I'm at right here. Military surplus backpacks. They're not cheap necessarily. These are $150, $160,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just it. The one I got was like $20. Right. And it's a $20 pack. Most people would say, I don't want this thing. It's canvas. It's heavy. It's bulky.
And here's the thing, Scoy, look at this. And now I know why you Army guys have bad backs later on in life after serving a career in the military. It's like this,
so
yeah.
So what we had in the Marine Corps was the Alice pack. I know that, that's a long time ago. Well, I'm an old Marine, so whatever. These kids today have got all this fancy stuff, but they gave us the frames, and I never liked the frames because they would dig into your back, dig into your sides. They had the kidney pad on the back. That didn't do crap. And as soon as I could, I took my frame and pitched it and just carried my Alice pack with just the shoulder straps on there. And I could wear that thing while wearing my H harness. So I had more or less 2 sets of shoulder straps on and cartridge belt and things like that. And depending on what I strapped to my Alice pack or how I packed it, I could spread out the weight. I could put a lot of stuff in there and spread out the weight so it wasn't killing me to wear the thing all day in the heat, uphill, both ways, et cetera, et cetera. So comfort's important. And for a certain price, you might get that comfort. On the other hand, you might buy an expensive one and it's really cool, but it's not comfortable at all.
Yeah,
so
I'm a huge proponent of testing it out in the store if you can. I mean, granted, with Amazon, it's easy to make a return and stuff, but it'd be nice if you're going to drop a couple $100 on a bag, you probably want to make sure it's going to fit you well. Like the one that I bought for $17, it's okay, but it's a little narrow for my width. It's a little small on me, but I also don't want to go huge because I'm just doing a couple hour day hike. I don't need, I'm not going up the summit, Yeah.
But you could load it up with some stuff and take your dog for a walk.
Yeah.
For an hour. And get an idea before you go out there where you're away from everything, and now you're all the way out there, and this thing is killing you, and you're going, "Why did I get?"
So what I did, to prep for, we should talk about this now. If you have access to, like, I have a fitness center here at the apartment complex where I live. I just did a 3.5 mile walk at 3 miles an hour with an incline set, and I'm like, okay, that's as physically demanding as it's going to get. Granted, I wasn't out in the elements, but I had that bag on full load, everything, water, full pack, and I'm like, how did I feel at the end? And at the end, it felt fine. No chafing. My back wasn't sore. I thought, okay, I can tolerate this for a day. No problem. Because I wanted to test it before I get out there. Instead of getting out there and it's like, oh my God, my shoulders are killing me. And you're more occupied with trying to be comfortable than the nature surroundings, which is the whole point of hiking in the first place, So yeah.
So if you've got something that's comfortable to wear that can carry everything you need with a little bit of room to spare, and you've got pouches, the number you need, internal, external, however, then it's going to work out. You'll be fine with it. I mean, I've done things like I've strapped a tripod to the side of a pack because I'm a YouTuber, right? So, I've got to make sure it'll work with that. And, you might want something with quick release straps. It's easy to take off and then you can just reattach it. Or you might want something with a little bit more adjustment in there. Maybe you are the kind of person that doesn't find a frame uncomfortable. Then you might want to find something with a frame. But if you spread out the weight a certain way, you really don't notice it. This whole ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. Obviously, that guy never served a day in his life.
Unless you're carrying something like your rifle in your arms, you're not gonna. If you're on your back, over your shoulder, if you're in any kind of shape at all, you can handle it as a grown adult,
you'll be
right?
fine. You'll be the thing about the military going to the 5.56 from the 7.62 NATO because it saves on weight. If for the same amount of weight, you can carry more rounds. So their doctrine was to just spray and pray. Well, then you're going to need it, right? And I'm not saying 5.56 is a bad round. It's a good round, but I'm more of a 30 caliber kind of guy, right? And I'd rather carry less 30 caliber or the same amount in 30 caliber and just have it weigh more. So a lot of people probably don't wear a belt when they're hiking, but you can put weight on your belt.
Yeah.
You can spread that stuff out. You can put a machete on there. You can put a knife on there. You can put canteens on there.
Take some of that stuff out of your bag and hang it off a good weight bearing belt, like a good gun belt with like maybe steel
pretty
core,
much a cartridge belt.
leather belt.
Yes, you
Or
can.
just
And,
any leather belt that's going to hold its form. Any kind of weight bearing is going to take it off your back.
Yeah, so you can put that, and okay, some of the things are going to smack against your leg or whatever, so you move it around and you work it into whatever, but around your waist and on your shoulders, you're not going to notice it as much as on your lower back or in your arms or anything else like that. So there are ways to spread out your gear. You also don't have to take everything. You really don't. Base it off of what you're hiking for. But if you want that pack to be something where you can go out in the desert for 3 days and come back, then make sure it's sized appropriately. Just understand that, at a certain point, you're going to, you take that first trip with it or whatever, you're going to come back and go, did I really need this, and this?
That's exactly what happened to me. It's like, okay, it packed improperly. It was poking in my back after the first mile. I had to readjust. Okay, I took too much of this and that. Maybe I should have done an internal water bladder instead of 4 water bottles and an aluminum bottle, things like that. You start to learn,
So they gave us a standard loadout that we had to carry. How much ammo, water, food, extra clothing, gas mask, blah, 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 right? And what I found was that there are certain things I didn't need and certain things I needed more of. So I carried more ammo and more water. I actually got in trouble for it once. And I'm like, I don't care. This is what I found. I needed more. I needed more belts of ammo. I needed more water. I'm not against gas masks, but a lot of times I'm like, screw the gas mask. We're never going to use it, until we were somewhere where they might have sarin. Then, okay, I'll bring the gas mask. But there's just different things when you go hiking. Some people might go, I don't need a small shovel, an entrenching tool. That thing can come in really handy for a lot of stuff. Or then again, somebody might bring an entrenching tool, an axe, a survival knife, a machete. It's like a saw. And be like, dude, okay, you might be able to get one thing that can do 2 or 3, jobs. Maybe not well, but at that point, now it's just the practicality. So I think you have to find that what works for you. So if you find that backpack that's comfortable, that spreads out the load and has the compartments, but then now look at your price. And like what you were saying, being able to return it if you don't like it is something important.
Yeah, and I don't know what the return policy is on that military surplus store I just showed you, but their decent Alice pack started at $130. Okay, Rich, what about you? What's been kind of your philosophy behind a hiking pack? Because you live in an area where you guys have lots of access to wonderful nature, right? You guys, woods and everything. What's your go-to?
I wanted to briefly touch on Squibb's point real quick.
Yeah.
To his point about spreading gear, people, when they hear that the military, you're generally average is going to be carrying between 75 and 150 pounds of gear, they think we're all carrying that on our backs. They don't get, like what Squibb was saying, we spread that all around our bodies. Like our canteens might be in the cargo pockets on our pants. Then on our belts, we would have taco pouches and stuff like that, where we would have magazines and our knives.
And you got like a chest rig, maybe
stuff
some
like
sort of
that.
vest setup or whatever.
Exactly. And then on our backs, we might have the bigger stuff, like the gas masks and all that stuff. That would be in the backpack.
Yeah.
But like all the smaller stuff, that'll be on our belts or in our pockets and stuff. We weren't carrying everything on our backs like what some people think.
And then so
Squibb, I hated the Alice gear too.
Yeah,
no,
there's
I like
the
the
comments
Alice
on the
gear.
side. It didn't seem like
as far as the frame and stuff, those frames
I
were not comfortable at all.
I could not stand the frame, but here's the thing. After I got out, the Alice gear started going into the surplus world, and it was pretty inexpensive.
We started getting that in like junior RTC and shit. By the time you were going out, oh, sorry, Travis.
You said shoot. Yeah.
Anyway, we started getting that stuff. So every time we would go on an FTX, we were having to use the Alice gear, and we weren't allowed to take the frames off.
Yeah, and they would be sticklers about that crap. Everybody's going to wear the same stuff and do it the same way, and it's like, all right, whatever. But the thing is, the Alice stuff was fairly inexpensive, and it was available everywhere. Now it's drying up, and the prices have gone way up. I mean,
$130 for a basic pack, $249 for a Molly 2 Alice pack with a frame on Surplus World.
Well, Molly is after. So,
the Alice 2 pack, I think is what it was called. That was $249 that I just showed on Surplus
used
World.
To be everywhere and inexpensive, and you could still find it. But the prices, I mean, a $40 Alice pack is now $70 or more.
Yeah,
and it's like, what the heck? And it ain't because of inflation; it's because the surplus it's drying up.
Yeah.
So the newer stuff is out there, and this stuff is somewhat interchangeable and compatible and whatnot. But I go old school because that's what I had. I like it. Some people might go, it's obsolete or it's too heavy, or it's like you should wear some of that canvas stuff from World War II in Vietnam. You want to talk about heavy, right?
Oh yeah, I had some of that stuff too because my stepfather had that for our camping gear and stuff. because he would go to the Army Navy store and he would buy all the old surplus stuff like the mess kits and the packs and everything, and that's what we use for going camping.
I think real quick, the lesson here people need to know is that mil spec and military issue doesn't always mean it's going to be the best thing for you in the civilian world.
Right.
You're not maybe
Right.
trained for it. You don't understand. Maybe if you got former training, you get it. But like, oh, this is awesome. This is an Army pack, and it might not be water resistant. It might have zero padding in it when you put it on. It's like everything's poking on you and dragging on you, you know.
And if you talk to two different veterans, you're going to get similar stories, but you're going to get different stories, right? Like they would have us dummy cord our stuff. I'd never dummy cord it. I mean, or I would, and then as soon as they weren't looking, I'd rip all that stuff out. I never liked dummy cording, but it works for some people, right? And you might have a guy that's hardcore. You got to dummy cord all your stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not. No.
Yeah. So, Rich, what about you? What's kind of your personal thoughts on just what to take for just a hike? What do you do small backpack?
Well, if we're going to the local state park to just hike down to the waterfalls and stuff, we don't take anything except like we might take a couple of water bottles and a little portable one of those canvas like coolers.
Oh yeah,
throw a couple of water bottles with an ice pack in there to keep them cold, but that's about it.
Okay.
Maybe a sidearm because we are, believe it or not, we are in the East Coast bear country and coyotes. So I mean, you're walking through the woods and you come across a pack of coyotes, you're gonna want a sidearm.
Oh, yeah.
Some variety.
We've got some wildcats out here, coyotes. You might get something. You might run into something with some mange going on. Not really foxes so much; they tend to keep their distance. But coyotes definitely. But no bears, not yet.
But that's about it. Now, whenever we go to a trade show, you go to a trade show.
You trade show guys, you got these freaking like 5-day hike packs just full of just you bump into everybody when you turn. You guys, you got that. You wear that T-shirt that's like 4 sizes too small. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, my wife got a pack at the Great American Outdoor Show for like $40 that she uses. I don't even know what brand it was, but it's a decent pack.
Yeah.
We'll just like throw whatever we grab, we throw in her backpack.
Oh yeah, and you guys collect a lot of stuff while you're there. You're throwing stuff in there, trying to get flyers and merch and brochures and all kinds of stuff. Stuff in there. So yeah. Now
it is a hike through. You're going to walk at least 10 miles a day.
Oh yeah,
through, like it's Great American Outdoor Show through that PA farm complex. That place is freaking huge.
Yeah. And Gary, good, Rich. Are you still? I was
going to say, and you also have a bunch of people bumping into you, so having a pack makes it a lot easier to carry this stuff.
Heck yeah! If you fall backwards, you fall into it. So. Gary, what about you? You ever take the kids hiking or camping back in the day when everybody was little? Do you ever have a preference for a backpack, or do you like to go frame or huge camper pack? What was your go-to?
Back in the day, we used to do a little bit of camping, but we never had to hike too much. Now, I did about 10 years ago. I did do some nature hiking and stuff like that, but most of my hiking nowadays, I'm the trade show guy. I'm the guy who will spend 5 days walking for SHOT Show. 1 day is outdoors, for the range day. And you've got an awful lot of gear there because you might be prepared you might have food in there. You might have rain,
weather. Yeah, you got to bring
equipment,
warm clothes. You might need. I always see the range day out at SHOT Show, and it's always really windy and looks really cold when those guys are out there.
It was last year, but it can be anywhere from 40, 50 degrees in the morning. It can get up to 80 degrees in the afternoon, so you got to be prepared for about anything.
Sounds like Kansas and Nebraska weather. It's like 40 in the morning, 80 in the afternoon.
You're carrying spare gear, you're carrying battery packs. You've got a lot of weight on your back. And so, we've all got our backpacks. And for me, comfort is a big concern. Now, I've tried about everything over the years. Single sling, double slings, and everything else. Single sling bags are great for an hour or two.
Over the crossbody shoulder bag
after a while. After 10, 12 hours on a SHOT Show floor with a single sling bag, you'll be cursing that thing. You can't.
To me, it's going to be putting a lot of weight on one side. It's going to be kind of annoying because you're not distributing the weight across your back,
And the way these things, I've got one right here, a big one. And you can tell it's designed for one shoulder and one shoulder only. So it isn't like you could switch it around if you wanted to. So
at that point, you might as well just wear a small backpack with 2 straps and just be more comfortable and, haul more stuff. So
I ended up going to something more. This is what I carried at NRAM. I actually bought it there because mine actually, after 5 years, gave up the ghost at NRAM. The shoulder strap tore completely loose. So I had to have a replacement. So
Yeah.
I've got, I'm a backpack collector. I
Okay.
mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I've got at least a half a dozen of them in my closet back there, from the real tiny ones
Yeah.
all the way up to this great big one here. So
Do you have a brand preference, something you've had really good luck with, or just whatever's been cheap and comfy? I mean, like what's
well,
kind of your philosophy on that?
this one, I actually spent the money on a good one. I asked Obnoxious One because he had one that was really built sturdy and solid. And that's the important thing to me. I've had zippers break, pull off, or you can't get the zippers
Carry
open.
handles tear when you lift up the bag, like you can't even bear the weight of the bag when it's full, you know? Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna be jerking this thing around, setting it down. It might be outside on rocks or dirt, and it may be, I may haul it back and forth here to my daughter's with a laptop in the back of it and stuff like that. I use them year round. So I want something that's going to hold up, because I'm gonna set that thing down and everything else. So yeah, this one I bought is Voodoo Tactical.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard of those before. Yeah, yeah.
Who made this thing, and it is really built solid. I will say
yeah.
that. Now, it was not cheap. It was over $100 bag if you paid full retail. Now, they were doing a sale there on the NRAM floor, and so I got it at a discount, plus I happened to get a little bit of a friend's thing from Obnoxious One because he's done some work with them. And
sometimes some Black Friday sales happen on Amazon or wherever they sell them,
I would 100% recommend them. Now, are they the only one? Oh, no. There's a lot of good bag makers out there. My old one was a Fox Tactical, and it actually wasn't a half bad bag. I just wore it out, to be honest. It lasted me a lot of years, but I've had those. I've had the Swiss gear ones. They're not as good as they're cracked up to be sometimes.
They're good as like a school laptop bag, and that's really about it. They're more nylon-y than anything, real thin,
the
thin
zippers
material.
are not strong on those things. And you can tell when you look at it, if it's a big, thick, heavy-duty zipper, you're going to be able to zip and unzip that thing 1,000 times. It's not going to break on you.
Crap, it's going to pop off or fray or jam or snap.
When you're on the middle of if you're on the middle of a convention floor, that's not the time to have a backpack break.
And just kind of as a backpack geek, Gary, you got to agree with me. The YKK zippers, those are what you want on a bag. That's like the standard, that brand. If you ever look at your zipper, the little pull on it, YKK has always been a good. I've just always seen them on all the best bags I've ever had. They're just a standard zipper company. So,
yeah.
All right.
So those brands that I know of, there's lots of other ones out there, and depending on what other kind of bags you're talking about, Savior Equipment's another.
Oh yeah, Savior makes great bags, and
Savior makes great bags, specialty bags more than anything.
I can't remember. Defense that out there, is that the brand of bug out bags we bought? Because I got that giant pack that's like my bug out bag, my get home bag, basically. So pricey, but very well made. You get a lot of bag for the money. All right, Rich, what do you got in your hands there? What you got?
This is the one my wife picked up. It was a little vendor. They're just getting into the business, and when we were at the Great American Outdoor Show, she got this one for $40 off of them. On their website, they were saying they were going to be selling it for about $60. For the life of me, I can't remember what the name of the company was, but it's a nice heavy duty nylon-ish type bag that's got really nice zippers on, like what Gary was saying. It's got the patch panel here. It's got MOLLE attachments all over the place.
Yeah, those are nice to have because you can just put anything on there you need to. That's so handy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got to where the two straps will buckle on the front together.
Oh yeah, that's when you get that little cross strap on there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the padding on it right here is really nice. It's almost like a memory foam that goes right back to shape again.
Oh wow,
really nice little pack for the money that she paid for it.
Yeah. Now me, since I was just getting into the hiking thing, this was from Walmart. I did a video on this. Of course, it's on my channel, but this one does have built-in hydration bladder with straps for hydration bladder in it. And the company that makes this bag also makes the bladder for it. You can give it. It'll take any like 3-liter hydration bladder. It's got the outlet on the top and a strap for the hose. And then it's got this is an $18 bag at Walmart. So this is what $18 is going to get you. Decent nylon, good zippers. It's Outdoor Products is the brand. It's kind of starting to replace Ozark Trail. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to take, this is like a 20 ounce or 24 ounce real lightweight aluminum water bottle. I'm going to take that out and use this for stuff. And then I'm going to put the bladder in it because what I've discovered is in my hikes is that I drink a lot more water than I realize. I mean, I'd never have enough. So I mean, I think you should center me personally. If you're just going to get a day hike bag, I really think you should center your purchase decision around having something that has that bladder pouch already in it. That way you don't have to worry. You don't have to buy anything external to wear. You can just put it in there and you've got water, because if you don't have water, you're not going to enjoy your hikes. If you're parched, it can be unsafe if it's hot out. So to me, the water bladder option should be the primary thing to look for day hikes, which is kind of what we're talking about. Enough to get you by for a day or two if there'd be an emergency. This one does have nice padding on the back of it. It does have a laptop pouch in it, but I don't really use it. And then I like the little side pouches. I did have a taco pouch, a magazine pouch on it, just to like put garbage in when I was out. If I had stuff on like empty bottles or papers and stuff, so I wouldn't litter. And I use that like as a trash bag. But this thing's been great. I keep my emergency kit on this side with the tourniquet and the quick clot, and then flashlight. You know, I'll show you all the gear and stuff next week. But just the outdoor products bag, if you want something cheap to start off with, I've used this one on 3 hikes now. It's been great. Got that chest strap to go across it. It looks it's a full-size backpack. It looks a little small on me, but I mean, I'm almost 6 foot tall, but it's just the perfect size for day hikes and stuff. Might be a bit overkill, but I mainly wore it just physically to see what kind of demands it would put on my body. That's why I wore it on the 2 hikes that I did. So that's, you know, it's a good bag. It's just a good starter bag. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on something, that's really a good way to go. And I think it had a 2 or 3 year warranty that came with it, but I don't have the tags anymore. I showed all that stuff off in the video. Let's answer John Z's question. Then there's a bunch of comments I want to get through. There's a lot of good feedback coming in from you guys. So John Z, Outcast of Disabilities, says internal or external frames, thoughts. I have no experience with internal or external frames in a bag. You Army guys, Marine guys, can you give us what's your thoughts on internal, external frames? You said no
frame.
No, maybe if it's like a full-size camping pack, the full-size ladder frame, like a huge pack that you're going to take to go up the mountain. Those look like they're designed for all-day comfort, but the military-style ones, you said they dig into your sides? Because they come down and they look like they're just going to poke the whole time.
They're terrible.
Okay,
they're just
absolutely
terrible.
horrible.
No, look, I don't. If I was I don't know, at some show and they had a pack with a frame and a pack without, and they're like, "Oh no, you want the frame?" Be like, "Hey pal, go get bent." I don't care what kind of frame it is, internal, external. I don't care if it's made out of carbon fiber or solid steel. I'm not wearing a frame.
Yeah,
unless
they're making it out of poop. Unless they're making the frame out of pool noodles, I don't want it.
Yeah,
noodles,
the only good thing about the frame is that the frame at the top kind of had a handle, and when you're setting your gear down, it's easy to grab it and pick it up, and that sort of thing. Or if you're having trouble snagging your buddy to drag him back under cover, and you can't get a hold of his H harness, you can always grab his Alice Pack frame and drag him along the ground. That's about all it's good for, really.
Yeah, so let's pass on the frames. I think proper weight distribution of the bag, and then also good straps. Tight, have the straps tight. Don't be like teenagers that have the bag halfway down their back. Keep it up high, and then have the chest strap on and or waist strap if it has it, because that's gonna weight bear. That's gonna take all that weight off. You're not gonna notice the hanging pulling you back because everything's up against your back and it's proper. So you need to wear the backpack the right way. Like mine, I keep it up high. Yeah.
And you brought up a good point too, because I've seen the kids at the high school, and they've got their backpack straps loose. They've got all the weight in the back bottom, and they kind of
complain about their backs being sore by that. I gave my back. It's like, would you wear your backpack the right way instead of like slagging like you're going to a dance club or something to have it hanging down low?
Yeah,
it's like no, you kids.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And then
they'll do the one strap thing too, where they only have one strap over their shoulder.
Or the cinch bags, the little rope cinch bags. You try to put 4 textbooks in there. That looks like torture. Why would you do that to yourself? Those little basketball cinch bags. You just zip. It's like what you put your socks in there. You don't put your chemistry book and your laptop in there. What's wrong with you kids? Anyway, so Defense Dad out there says, I obviously don't hike, but I carry a backpack daily with a laptop and about 10 pounds of camera equipment because he is working on photography. He's a great photographer. I can tell you that a pack with a sternum strap and ventilated back padding is key. Yeah, when you're out in the heat, that'll be sweat the whole time that you're out there. If you have like three or four like gel pads, like they're sewn into the back of the pack, it'll kind of keep it off your back so it does breathe better. But yeah, padding and then that sternum strap is that's awesome. I have that on mine. I have mine on all the time. So yeah. Let's see. Let's move across here. Razor JB, caring for a requirement versus caring for enjoyment are far different. Oh yeah, totally. I tend to over prep, but that's just me. I want stuff with me. So if I get stung or bit or cut or it rains or I need a flashlight or I got to throw something up quick for a shelter because it's Nebraska, Gary, Kansas. I like to have and just like a little bit of food. So if I had to go a day, like if I had to sit there, say I broke my ankle and nobody could get to me or whatever, I'm out there in the middle of nowhere. I want to make sure that I'm good to go. Then I also take one little extra battery pack with me that I can plug my phone into to get a couple charges out of it if I needed to. Might want to add like a GPS. That'd be kind of nice to have for trails, but yeah.
The more you wear your gear and you go hiking, the more you find out what you like, going back to what I said, what you need and what you don't need, but you also figure out where you want to put it. Maybe at first you go, well, I want this here, and then you realize, all right, I want to be able to just reach over here and grab this, or reach down here and grab that.
That's what I do.
And the other stuff is when you take your pack off and you're digging through, and it's at the back bottom of the pack because it's the least likely thing you're going to need, or that's the only place it'll fit. That's another thing. You might need something, but it's kind of bulky or something, and that's the only place it'll go. So you got to pack it accordingly, depending on how quick you need to get it out. There are times where you're stopping for a break, or if you got hurt, you're not going to keep, well, you might be in a position where you have to keep moving, but if you don't have to keep moving, you can set your pack down, get your stuff out, take your time.
Some kind of shelter so you don't get
set up your shelter,
get rained on or whatever, And then I do have some paracord. Obviously, I got like 50 feet of paracord or 100 feet of paracord, just a bundle that's ready to go. It's all the same brand stuff that I bought at Walmart. They've got a nice, decent entry level line of just hiking gear that you can get. That's just going to work. That's just not super expensive. I mean, a little shout out to Gary here from Defense Dad. I bet Gary has a Pimp Daddy backpack for when he arm rakes swag at SHOT Show. He just goes and finds that Canic table and puts his arm on it and or that Taurus table and just gets all those stickers and all those patches. And
the great thing about SHOT Show and places like that is there are companies that give out free bags basically as soon as you walk in, and they're basically walking billboards. Like at SHOT Show the past 2 years, there's these big red bags from SOAR USA, and they're really nicely built. And you can tell there's lots of different ones, but you can just look and see, 7 out of 10 people are carrying these big red bags that say SOAR USA. Well, that's what I want. And they're free, and I keep them. And they're nice bags, and they can tote a lot of swag. And you will accumulate quite a bit in a day. And they've got shoulder straps and everything else on them. So pretty nice little bags.
Show. We get ones from Gunbroker, which are kind of more like the canvas shopping bags that you buy at Walmart and stuff. And we use them for going to Sam's Club or Costco or something because they don't give you bags there. They put everything in a box, if anything. So we take the grocery stuff we get at Sam's Club and we throw them in those Gunbroker bags. They're great for that.
Well, yeah.
If you want to get the swag from Canic, what you have to do is you have to walk up to the guy's booth and be like, "Hey, man, this is for Travis P11," and they're like, "Oh, here you go. Here's some extra." That's what works for me.
So Squib, I don't have that email address that you sent that picture to. We'll have to bring that one up, the Italian rucksack bag or whatever.
Oh, you want me to just send it
needs to go to the TPATOCKA, the one that I send you the links for. Send it to that, and then I can show that bag off. I'm not going to go. The problem is if I go log into the Caliber Corner email address, it could potentially log me out of StreamYard because of how Google works with logins, because that's a different account and password. So I can't go to the calibercorner@gmail.com easily during the shows. I try to check it before we start, and that's it. So so Squibby, send it over there and we'll show off that bag because that's one that you were recommending. The people check out. Razor JB, Alice Guerra hated, but the pack itself is still an all-time favorite over anything out there. Okay. Tommy Gunn says, let's see. Let's go take that one off there. Use a Columbia rucksack, the Teton. They're comfortable for those moose hunts. Yeah, Columbia does make, I love Columbia coats. They've always been really well made. Good coats, good jackets. They do make pretty serious outdoor gear. I got the Shields fall hunting catalog, and man, you can drop $1,000 on a bag now for serious like moose hunting and elk hunting. These packs are like hardcore. Part of it's going to be the brand that you're paying for, but then the other half of it is, you're getting stuff that's, it's got certain camo pattern, certain design to it. So you can spend whatever you want on those bags. Tony York says, I've got a couple of World War II French or Italian canvas packs. They serve well. All right, so Squib will bring up that pack that you've got going on here. Let me go and share that. So Squib, what are we looking at here? What did you send me a picture of?
Italian military surplus rucksack. It's kind of canvas. They've got them on Midway USA. They've got them on other sites. They're around for so long, then they dry up. There's some other ones. I think there's a Czech one or that's similar. There's let's see, the Czech one is similar and whatnot. And you'll see this stuff. It'll be in stock. It'll be out of stock. Right now they've got an Italian one too that's green. That's similar to it. So some of this European surplus, this is from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And it looks it actually looks better, I think, in the picture than in real life. But it's got two pouches on the back, and then a main pouch on the side are two. Honestly, when I looked at them, I'm going, "What is this for
Like
carrying
sleeping pads or something, or what?
that, or maybe a
A
light
blanket?
anti-tank weapon?" Seriously,
Oh,
like
yeah, I was gonna
it's
say,
for
it looks like
something.
they're very purpose built for a certain
They're
kind of
they're
loadout, you know?
they're
Yeah,
tubular, so I
yeah,
used one
yeah.
of them to secure my tripod, and it worked.
Oh,
Right, so
cool.
sometimes
Okay.
you can repurpose this stuff. Now this thing is $20, right? And if you're already buying something from Midway USA or some company like that online, you might be able to find something in their surplus section and throw one of these foreign military packs on there. It's not comfortable. I
Oh.
wore it for like
Say, it looks like it's
8.
gonna be really high, but it also would clear a gear belt if you had hardcore mag
Oh,
belt going.
yeah,
Like, if you
yeah.
had like gear around your waist, like they would have been wearing back in, back in the day.
Well, I
That's up
mean,
high, that it's cut so it stays up off your lower back. Yeah.
it carried the weight, and I kept adding weight to it all day long. But I tried this out for the first time at NRAM, and I wore it for like 8 or 9 hours. And by the end of the day, I was sore. And it wasn't really so much the weight as far as just how the canvas kind of it wasn't really padded so much. For 2 hours, this thing's fine. This thing is more than fine. But for 8 or 9 hours, it's not that good. So if you're looking at getting something like this, actually, the reason I got this, Travis, was we had the one show where you were talking about gear to keep in your vehicle.
Mhm.
If you break down in a snowstorm, 30 miles to the nearest town, you should have a pack in your. So
Like
I
a get
actually bought
home
this.
car box or something, a
Right,
gearbox. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I actually bought this with the intent of putting it in my truck, collapsed, right, and then loading whatever I needed into it so I could walk back to civilization, I guess you could say, in case I broke down between, Lexington and North Platte or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I ended up testing it out by just let's see how it does all day long. So I don't know what results you would get if you got some of the other European surplus backpacks. But if you're just going to be out for a short time, this thing will do just fine for the price, right? But if you're going to be out all day, or this is your bug out bag, maybe not so much. So if you're looking around, you're going, hey man, this is $20. I'm going to get this. Yeah, be careful what you spend. Okay. Now I use it mostly for just carrying my extra camera gear, cords, battery pack, selfie stick
Defense,
adapters.
why we need good bags. He's got 2
Yes.
cameras, 20 lenses, 50 plugs and cables, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have an elaborate layout like that, but this is more or less when I went on a trip. Oh, I brought this to Thunder on the Prairie, and then a month later, I took a week-long trip, and I brought it. And mostly, this bag, after I tried it out at NRAM, was just for all my YouTube crap. I do rail fanning, which I'm one of them nerds that goes out and watch trains, right? So I actually bring a scanner so I can listen to them talk, and that helps me figure out where they're going to be, or if what direction,
Mhm.
or whatever it is, right? I carry that. I carry extra batteries for the scanner and things like. I carry binoculars in there because sometimes when I'm out doing stuff, I need to be able to see at distance to set up the shot if something's coming from far away and that sort of thing. So one of these, I really wouldn't recommend for your all day or overnight bag. But if you're
Okay.
just using something for a couple hours,
Yeah.
or doing light hiking, and you just don't want to break the bank, you're already buying stuff at Midway USA or some other company like that. I use keepshooting.com and a few other surplus. There's some really good surplus. Coleman's is another good one. They're out of Pennsylvania. They've got lots of stuff. So you can
Okay.
find the stuff when you're looking for other things on your for surplus or whatnot. And it's good, I would say, 2 hour or less bag.
Okay. All right. So again, that's just the thing about surplus. Read the reviews, see what people say about it. Maybe watch some reviews on it, and then make sure you know what the return policy is in case you put it on. You're like, okay, this thing is designed for the ergonomics of somebody that lived to be 45, 50 years ago. Yeah. Razor JB said 1,000. I think it's denier Cordura will last forever, but heavy as heck and not needed, especially when it gets wet. The bag that I have, my get home bag, it's an elite survival systems bag. It's designed for firearms carry, but it looks like a camping bag. Like if somebody looks like they're going on a serious hike, it's an awesome bag, man. I've got so much stuff in there. It's basically something I could use if I had to, say, go 3 or 4 days without anything. I've got enough supplies in there that I could survive if I needed it, all the basic essentials. I have an AR upper that's in there. And the reason why is if I had to go bug out or whatever, and when I travel with an AR anyway. So I'd have an AR in my hand, plus I have a spare upper in the top that's actually more compact that I could slap on there if I needed parts or if I needed another upper. So that's just, it's got straps for it. And then I can also put the lower on the right side if I want to. So yeah, Elite Survival Systems bags are nice, very expensive. I want to say what, 150 or something like that, but definitely worth it. I did a whole get home bag series on my channel. You guys can check out also if you want to. If you type in Travis P11 get home bag or Travis P11 bag, it'll pop up and you can see those videos if you want to. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. The bags you get at trade shows. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy says I have several totes full of bags and gear. Oh man, here we go. Yeah, Snake Doctor 78. I just saw the Mystery Ranch bags in the Shields catalog. If you got $600 lying around, dude, maybe they're not that pricey where you are, but man, use the Mystery Ranch Pop 38 for hunting in Colorado. It has a frame, but it's super comfortable and can be adjusted to carry out meat. Yeah, they're designed for quartering, bringing home your game. Good, serious, hunting bags like you're going to see guys use on all-day trucks out in the mountains and stuff, or for hours every hiking up and down the mountainside. So here's the thing. If it's purpose built for that and it's going to be comfortable and you're into that, then spend the money. Seriously, just get good stuff that's going to work for you instead of getting something subpar that's going to break or not function, or it's going to leave you having to go to the chiropractor when you get back to work on Monday. So yeah, the Mystery Ranch bags look solid. And like Sitka has got some good bags. There's another one called like Morning Flight or something. I don't know. When I was looking at the Shields catalog, they had a couple brands that I hadn't heard of before that they're doing the fall hunting catalog now. So they've got all that stuff that's in there. Snake Doctor says, I would not say it's a day hike pack for the price, but it's awesome for long range hunting from a campsite. Yeah, we're more focused just on the couple hours out, a couple hours back. Like, what's a good bag to use? Maybe start with a lower cost, well padded, well strapped, tactical bag or military style bag. Because it'll have lots of compartments. It'll have a good build. May not be water resistant, but you can always spray it down with some camp dry or some silicone spray if you want to give it some water resistance. So if you get caught out in a rainstorm. Otherwise, I always have an emergency poncho in there I could throw over myself and the bag if I needed to, because I've been caught out in thunderstorms before out in the middle of nowhere. When I'd film at the range back in Lexington, the weather was always very dicey at best. Let's see. What else do we have here for comments? Make sure you don't miss anything. Let's see here. Tony York says, Squib, not to go off on a whole nother tangent, but have you ever seen a UP big boy in action? Union Pacific?
Yeah, I have not, but on one of my trips out there, I'd like it to coincide with the schedule. They published a schedule where they're going to have 4014 rolling up and down the track from Cheyenne to Chicago and back. It goes past you, Travis. It goes through Lexington.
It does. Yeah, it goes through Lexington and stops, and I think they fill it up with water, and then it goes on. So it would be there for a couple. I've got to see it a couple times. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. Yeah,
I've seen two static. There's one in Omaha. When you first come into Omaha on I-80, up there on the hill, you'll see a Centennial diesel locomotive and a big boy. You can actually get off the expressway next exit, and you drive up the hill, make a right, follow it. There's parking, and you walk up this path, and all along the path, they've got the history of the Union Pacific. And it's a really great display. And then you go up there and you can look over the river and look over into Council Bluffs and all that. And they've got both of the locomotives up there. And then if you go out to North Platte, on the west side of the state, there is a museum there that's got a Challenger, which is one size down from the big boy. However, they've got quirky hours. Both times I've been out there, they've been closed. Like certain times of the year, they're closed. Also, on the other side of North Platte is Bailey Yard. It's this gigantic Union Pacific yard. And at Bailey Yard, they have a 7-story tower called the Golden Spike Tower.
Oh, yeah.
The bottom is a gift shop. And the top 2 decks are like observation decks where they've got like artifacts. And you can actually, if it's not too windy, you can walk around on the balcony and you can watch what they're doing out in the yard. They've got what they call a hump yard, which is they've got a hill, a hump, and they have the cars
literally
and then they go to different tracks and they build a train that way. They push stuff up and it goes this way and it goes that way and it goes, and you can just sit there and watch that. They've got volunteers there that will answer questions and things like that. It's really, there's a lot of railroad history in Nebraska. If you're a rail fanning nerd like me, that's like the mecca.
Yeah, North Platte is, what is it? Isn't it one of the busiest rail crossings in the country?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
You can literally sit in Kearney, where they got 4 tracks going through. You can sit there and every 15 minutes they come through. It's kind of like being in Flagstaff.
Tons of train traffic. Yeah. When I was in Lex, they eventually built overpasses in Lexington in the central Nebraska. So because the train traffic it would stop cars so often over the course of the day. And I got used to the trains, but I'm not kidding. Like every 20 minutes, a train would come through town. I'm not joking. Like it was constant. But I mean, I eventually, after living there for 20 years, after a year or two, I didn't even notice it. I'm like, oh, there's a train going by. You know, you don't even, yeah.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, there's only four big boy locomotives left. 3 are on display, and one they actually restored, and they in the summer they run it. There's one, like I said, in Omaha. The other one is in Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is where Union Pacific has the yard where they keep all their historical locomotives. The big boy that actually tours is stored there, maintained there. It was restored there. So it comes out of Cheyenne, but there is a park there, a public park where you can go and walk right up to one of these things. And if you're on the East Coast and, you don't travel, they've got
I got to go catch my dog, Squib. I got to shut the window. Go ahead. Talk away,
All
Dad.
right. There is a big boy in Pennsylvania. There's a national park called the Steamtown Historical Site or something like that. I've been meaning to go out there when I go to either Great American Outdoor Show or Rod of Iron Freedom Festival. I'd like to go out that way. And they've got one there. And that's about the furthest east you're going to see one of these things, because they were designed to go up and down the mountains with heavy loads. They weren't really on the East Coast. So you can, even if you don't feel like traveling all the way out west to Wyoming or Nebraska to see one of these things, there is one on the East Coast. But there are things like that all over the place. And if you are a rail fan and you want to be out all day in the heat, in the weather, in the snow, if you want to be carrying 2 tripods, extra batteries, scanners, bottled water, whatever the heck it is, because sometimes when you're out there waiting on trains, you're walking around, you need some bug spray. I mean, there's all kinds of, you're sitting up there for 3 hours.
Hiking and rail fanning, it's the same thing.
It kind of
You're
is.
hiking
like
to go watch,
It's like fishing. It's like fishing, right? You go to catch, you actually call it a catch. You go to catch something.
Yeah.
And you might get something, you might not. You might have four trains pass you in an hour. You might sit out there for 3 hours and get nothing. But the same sort of gear, if you were out in the elements, out in the heat,
it's the same thing.
It's the same kind of thing. You want comfortable shoes. You want a hat that gives you some shade, stuff like that. So it's the same sort of thing. But yeah, Tony, they're out there if you want to find them.
So let's talk bag size, because that's something that the measurements. So I'm an American. I have no idea liters. All I know is the larger the liter count for your bag, the larger the bag. I mean, okay, I know what a liter is, okay, but I'm just saying as a joke. But they're the capacity is measured by liters. So if you were to fill it up with liters of liquid, that's the capacity of the bag. So Snake Doctor 78 says at 30 to 60 liters, that's more than enough space for a day hike. I mentioned in my video for this bag how many liters it is. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it holds everything I need, including a change of clothes. Well, cold weather gear. I keep a long sleeve t-shirt and like some thermal, whatever sweats in there in case I'd have to bundle up on a hike. Because we do have cold fronts that'll blast through sometimes, especially in the fall in Nebraska. So they go by liter sizes. When you look at the bags, the more liters you go, the larger the bag is going to be on the internal or either the total capacity of all the pouches or the main capacity, the capacity of the main pouch is going to be going by liters. But anyway, you guys are getting your train talk on out there. Defense Stat says there's a camera backpack I want out there, but I'm really trying to justify $300 for a backpack. I know, like those Manfrotto carbon fiber, tripods for $600, but hey, man, you want the best. You want the best, right? You only live once there, Defense Dad. You only live once, bud. Tony, oh yeah, we're going to talk about something. Tony had mentioned something. The Hump, the highest point in Nebraska. Tony, I will have you to know that in the northwest corner of Nebraska, we have a point in our state within our borders that is higher than Denver. All right. Got to flex it, baby. We're like 5,283 feet. So we surpassed Denver by 3 feet. Maybe not anymore due to erosion, but at one point, elevation wise, Nebraska was higher in elevation than Denver. So I want you to know that. We actually go from like 1,000 feet above sea level to 3,200. You go up 2,000 feet as you cross Nebraska. That's why your gas mileage goes down when you got to Colorado. You don't realize it. When I lived in Lex, I think the elevation was 2,300 feet or something like that. So above sea level. So it is, it's flat, but it's also progressive. And as you go north, you get the sand hills and you start to get into, in fact, if you guys look at that thumbnail for today's episode, that's Smith Falls up in north central Nebraska. That's the tallest waterfall in Nebraska. We have waterfalls in Nebraska. So yeah, I've always got to represent the state, So anywho, Tony, Just thought I'd throw that out there at you. I always gotta argue with Tony a little bit in the mornings. It's like arguing with my old man. So yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a smartphone, you can get an app if you don't already have it on there that'll have an altimeter, and it's kind of interesting to be down low, what looks like down low, and check the altimeter, then hike up something and then check it, and you're like, wow, I can't believe the elevation change.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
western part of Nebraska near Wyoming and Colorado, I like that more than the eastern part. Not that I
No,
don't like the
what-
eastern part, but
I'm
it's
dumb. 5,280 feet is a mile. Is that right?
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, so it's over 5,280 feet in elevation in the northwest corner of Nebraska.
Yeah.
I think we're at 1,200 or something in Lincoln. So you go up as you go up towards Wyoming. You're going up there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. When you're in western Nebraska, you cross over the border, and in what, an hour, you're in Denver, which is a mile high. So yeah, the
you're just
elevation
a couple
is
hours from
definitely-
Cheyenne, a couple hours from Denver. Yeah.
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 Yep.
Snake Doctor 78 says for like park hiking, Disney, soccer tournaments, carry on for trips, etc. We pack a Swiss gear pack. Seems better than most with padded carry handle and well padded straps. It's a 35-liter pack. They're good, but I don't know if I'd want them for like hardcore outdoor daily use. They're more of a good office bag, a good school bag. I'm not ripping on. They're good for that, for what they are. I've had them before myself, but and the nice thing is, a lot of these little hiking packs, they can kind of pull double duty for stuff like tournaments, because you can throw them around and beat them up, and they're cheap, and you can get them dirty, and the kids can puke on them and stuff, and you're not out a bunch of money, when bad things happen. So yeah. What else we got there? So what we're going to do now, since we've been talking for a while, a lot of it, if you can try the pack on in the store, it's nice to do so. I did that the best I could at Walmart with the one that I bought. It did have some like plastic cables on it, so I couldn't quite, but I just put it on and thought, okay, this feels good. And then I did notice that it was really poking in my lower back. And then what had happened was those sweatpants that I packed up, those thin thermal pants that I have, they're not yoga pants, right? Just for the record. Anyway, for cold weather, I rolled them up like a sleeping bag and shoved them in the bottom of the bag. Well, then when I put the bag on, I had like this like hump pushing in my lower back. And I was like, it's like a log down there. I was like, this sucks. So I rolled out the pants and laid them in the bag. And then I laid my long sleeve shirt on top of it. And I throw a couple items on the top and bring it upright, zip it. So weight distribution is really important. Before you go out on a hike, put it on a couple times, wear it around the house and make sure that you're going to like it. Because like me, I thought if I go more than a couple miles, this is going to be killing me. So yeah.
Travis.
Yo.
Yeah, they're long johns. Okay.
No. These are Adidas thermal pants is what they're called. You can wear them as sweats. You
don't wear them underneath your jeans?
No, they're actually here. If you want to see them.
And they're yoga pants.
No, they're not yoga pants. They're not yoga pants. I swear. No.
Leggings.
They're not
Do
jeggings.
they have
They're not
stirrups
leggings.
on them, Travis? Do they have
So,
stirrups?
this is the same material as my shorts. Like that
Did
I
you
wore.
have
I bought my basketball shorts. All right. Look, this is what they are. These probably don't even fit anymore because I'm 2XL for life, baby. Look at that. So that's what these are. See, they got the little Adidas stripes on the side. And okay, so they don't have cuffed bottoms, but they have a zipper on the sides. These are like warm-ups. They're warm-ups.
Pajama pants for crying out loud.
Do you wear those when you go to
You know what? You guys can go.
Why don't you join
I'm not
Run
sharing my
DMC,
pants with
Travis?
you. When we go hiking, I'm not sharing my pants with you. Okay, I'll keep my pants to myself, and you're gonna get cold. That's fine. I don't care. I'll be nice and toasty while you guys are freezing your butts off when you're all right. Can't believe I just showed you my pants. Shut up, Charlie. See, my dog's upset about it now. You guys.
Yeah, well,
got my
he's
dog
like, yeah,
upset.
get rid of those.
Hey, look, you wanna rip on my socks now too while we're at it? You wanna give me?
Well, I am the sock guy.
Oh, Jesus, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole
Are those
because I will
Wolf
lose. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. They're not yoga pants. They're thermal joggers is what they're called, according to
They're
Costco.
for when he wants
right?
to live his fantasy of being a member of Run DMC, guys. Come on.
Exactly. You know it. It's
Uh-huh.
tricky. All right. It's tricky. Did I just flash a gang sign? I very well may have done that. So, all right, you guys talk bags for a second. I got to see what's up with the dog.
All right. What about butt packs? I know the fanny pack is small, but a butt pack, if you're hiking, that can distribute weight where you're not going to notice it. The ones that they had in the military before I joined were all like canvas and whatnot. I've seen some nylon, I don't know, copies, I guess you could say, of them. You could buy them at the surplus store, but if anybody ever tried to put them on and wear them, they'd get in trouble for that sort of thing. I've seen some. During the show, I was kind of looking on Amazon, a couple other places, and there are some companies that make butt packs, but it's bigger than an IFAC. And you can find other pouches too that'll clip to a belt or something like that are about the size of a butt pack. But it's bigger than a fanny pack, bigger than an IFAC, and because you're wearing it in the small of the back, you're really not noticing the weight. No, bigger than that. So I think you're muted, Travis.
Yeah. So this is just my little trauma pack I take for day hikes. It's got a quick clot and it's got a tourniquet in it, a couple bags, some gloves. This is
So
what
what
I
do
have
you
with
think
me.
about wearing a butt pack on a belt as either extra or instead of a backpack if it's a short hike?
Yeah, and there are some nice like fanny packs you can get that are pretty deluxe that have a lot of bags on. As long as you can keep them from sagging, I think that's a good thing. I would rather have the butt pack on a good sturdy weight bearing belt. I wouldn't be opposed to that because then at least your pants are. You don't want anything that's going to sag while you're trying to walk. That would be super annoying. But a proper belt is key. A good belt with good buckles with lots. I mean, I do like the core belts because they've got good adjustability for they adjust in like 1/4 inch increments so you get them to fit just right on you. They're not too, you don't have to drill holes in your belt to make it fit properly, like I've done before. Snake Doctor says, I've seen some butt packs that have water bottle holders. Yeah, you can get I know North Face makes some really nice fanny packs, but they have like side padding on them and stuff. They're for good, serious bike rides, or you're going to run, trail run, you want just to be able to carry your essentials on you, things like that. MC says, I have a messenger satchel or half backpack that carries well. Let's see, butt packs that have chest rigs. Yeah, you can get the ones that have like the cross straps on them and stuff that'll weight bear, so you can, and that would be a nice compliment to a backpack because you could put all that weight bearing gear on you with the chest straps, and then you can have your backpack on, really go full load out if you want to. And that's just the thing is you need to think like, how far out am I going? What kind of resources are available to me when I'm out there? What's the weather going to do? That's the important one. And like I said, always maybe bring a juice pack for your phone so you've got a backup because you might be taking a lot of photos and making videos and your battery's just going to go. If you're roaming, you're going to be chewing up your battery. So I carry a 10,000 milliamp like juice pack in my, I have two. I've got a nice heavy duty one that's a 20,000 that's got a solar panel on it. That doesn't go with me on hikes, but then I have a little 10,000 just like that. And those are
this is
lifesavers,
Walmart, I think $10 or $20. I can charge my phone up 3 to 4 times on this. I've taken it with me hunting. It's sat in a deer blind in 20 degrees for 8 hours and
does that have 1 amp and 2.1 amp outputs on it? Because the 2.1 amp is nice because it'll supercharge your phone quick. Oh, just
no,
one?
Just got this one's just got the one, but yeah, you can get them with different ports on them. But I mean, this was fairly inexpensive. And I've taken it out, I think 2 seasons hunting. I've taken it out in the heat. This thing just comes in really handy for the price. I mean, depending on what you want to spend, you can get nicer, more fancy, but it's something you would carry in your pack, right?
Oh, you can spend whatever you want on a juice pack now, going up to 50,000 milliamps or whatever. I've got a 10 and a 20, so those tend to work pretty good. So let's just kind of go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about the butt packs and with your backpack stuff. This pack actually has a strap here at the bottom where you can connect your butt pack to the backpack so that it acts as the waist strap for the backpack as well. They actually sold that as an accessory for it.
So right. Yeah, do you have to? How do those butt packs have some sort of a rear strap that'll go up through a loop?
Yeah, they had a snap strap that attached to the backpack.
Okay. Actually, no, I do have one in my closet. I've actually done I think I did a video on that too, like a little grab and go gear bag and what do I have in it if you don't have time to get anything else but like a firearm and one little pack, what do you need kind of thing. But they're nice. It's got like the big, it's got the like little fabric on the side, so it gives you a little bit of support, and it's got the big pouch on it, and it's got the clips on it and things like that. I don't even know if they even make that bag anymore. I've had it for over 10 years. But so let's look at the low end on Amazon. Gary, you can post your link again if you want to get that out there because we're going to talk about Amazon now. So just looking at it, I'm not a big fan of the crossbody straps for a full day hike. So on the low end on Amazon, I'm filtering by price here, $11.99 for a 36-liter pack. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to want to read the 1 and 2 star reviews on that one to see what people say about it. It's just, if you want something simple and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you don't know if you really want to get into it, or maybe you're just cheap or whatever, this is something to start off with, I suppose. But again, more of a school pack than anything. There's not a lot of access on the outside, not a lot of places to attach stuff. I do like this one. This may be something I'm thinking about picking up, but what I'll probably end up doing is just getting a water bladder for the current bag because they carry one for my bag at Walmart that's compatible with it. But this one's designed, it's a hydration pack. And this one gives you, it's only 2 to 3. It's either 2 to 3 liters of capacity in the bag or 2 to 3 liter water bladder, but it's built in, it's designed around it. And this one has the hose in it and stuff. So you can get it shows your hydration pack so you can clean it out. And it's got the straps to hold the bag, to hold the pouch up in your bag, your water pouch. And it's got little reflective strips on it. This might be a nice one for just active, outdoor stuff. It's got a decent amount of space in it. I'm probably not going to be able to take the yoga pants with me. I'm going to have to leave those at home. But this could be my summer pack, so that'd be an option for me. But this one's only $35 with the water bladder included. So if I go buy the water bladder for my current backpack, it would cost me about that much. I think it's probably $15 at Walmart for that. I love Camelback. Camelback stuff is really good. It's really well built, but it's also expensive. That's a really good brand for the water pouches and stuff like that. I think Camelbacks are made in the USA, if I'm not mistaken. Then these are featured bags. This isn't necessarily going up the price scale. As we kind of scroll a little bit, just seeing if they have anything that's even slightly usable. And you got a lot of like purses and waist bags. Galindo hydration pack backpack, 9,000 denier nylon. So this guy's $32.99. It's not a bad design. That one's got a little more accessibility. You got your loops on it and stuff, your front pockets, your compartments. Okay, you got that also. You can put ice and water in there, auto shut off valve. You want to make sure that plastic's BPA free, obviously, because a lot of this stuff's going to come from China. But, $31.99, or if you want to go green, you can go that route too, which is kind of nice. That might be a good one. 2-liter water bladder is what it has. So you're going to get about a half a gallon of water in that one. But yeah, as I'm discovering, instead of lugging a bunch of water bottles with me, I'd rather go the bladder route, just because the bottles are kind of, once it runs out, it's still taking up a lot of space in my bag. So I think that might be the better way to go. I was trying to see if this has the liter capacity in it for gear, but 15. Okay. So if you go 18 liter, if you get the OD green, or 18 liter, this says, 2 hydration bladders. So I don't know if you put them both in there, if it just comes with 2 in case you need one. So there's lots of different options on Amazon that you can go with, but so that's relatively inexpensive. That might be a good one to go into, and you can get it. You can also get it in camo if you want it. Right now they just have gray and army green, but I'm sure there's probably other vendors that are selling that same one over on Amazon. They tend to do that quite a bit. So I mean, like I said, I would center my bag around having water bladder compatibility. That's just me. $50. Here's a nice kind of hiking backpack, waterproof day pack, 50-liter capacity. It's got the little ports on it it looks like it has a USB port on the side to plug in your phone to charge it. That's crazy.
I had a pack like that had USB things in there. I had a separate compartment where you can actually carry your laptop and stuff in it.
Yeah, you're going through the bushes or something, that would be annoying. You're going to get unless you just have your phone in that pouch on the side, you just want that.
It had a built-in battery pack.
Yeah. I remember those.
You could charge your phone and stuff off of your backpack if needed.
I never thought of this. A Rainfly is kind of cool. This comes with one, which is nice. And that's $50. Really, that's not bad. And you can get it in a bunch of different, if you want more visibility so people can see you when you're out in the woods.
Right. If you had some sort of situation where you were injured, you couldn't get anywhere, you're smashed your phone, you lost, I don't know, whatever. And
look at that.
You're yelling, help, but nobody's coming. Anything that you've got that's high visibility that you can put out there that's going to draw attention could help you in a situation like that. Because if you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's not likely that somebody else is going to be hiking out there. But if they are, if it sticks out, they're going to be like, what is that?
Yeah. See, look, this has the bottom strap buckle, so you can take your yoga mat with you if you want to. So that'll go with my yoga pants. So I can just yoga out in the middle of nowhere all day long.
Is there a granola pouch on that?
Yeah, you can just pour granola in any of the pouches and just reach in there and eat it right out of there if you want to, just like a horse or a cow or something. Yeah, you got that option.
Go. Granola on one side, Skittles on the other.
Yep. 1,000 denier nylon. This one kind of has my interest. I just wonder how big it is. I'm gonna have to look at it says 14 by 2 by 9 by 4 by 23.6. I want to compare it to my current bag to see if I'm really gaining anything. But I like my current bag because it's got quick and easy access to everything I need. I like the current bag, and I think maybe until it wears out, I won't replace it. But this is nice. I mean, this has got a lot of cool options on it. That little port's kind of handy for plugging in your phone, so you don't have to plug it in and throw it in a bag or something. It's just right there. You got access to it at all times. So again, I'm just kind of showing you guys. We're going to switch over to the high end here pretty soon and see what pops up. So the clear bags, you always got to have those. Again, I just did a search for day packs and hiking packs. That's all I did when I was looking for this. So,
and you were talking about hydration. The state park that we go to around here, every so many feet, there's natural springs that run down the hill that you can refill your water bottles and stuff from.
Yeah, and people I carry a Sawyer filter with me also, or a Life Straw, Yeah.
Yeah, people take their empty water bottles and stuff from their home just to get the spring water from.
A stupid question because I probably wouldn't drink spring water in Nebraska, but you're not going to get a parasite or get sick off that if you drink it.
No, that's
I know
it's
spring. I
it's
understand the
all
concept of
natural.
spring,
It's
but
all naturally filtered because there's a
okay.
lot of carbon in the ground here in West Virginia from because all the coal content and everything. It's like you can't go anywhere without finding carbon of some form in the ground.
Yeah.
So it all filters all of it.
Okay. Oh, that's cool, man. See, I wouldn't want to do that. Here we have wells. I mean, you probably be okay drinking the well water for the most part. A lot of people have wells. So we grew up drinking it as kids and never got sick, but I wouldn't want to. I don't. Springs in Nebraska might be a little hard to find anyway. We don't quite have that kind of terrain that generates it. We've got a lot of groundwater, a lot of marsh and stuff. But yeah, I do keep the Sawyer filter in my bag or the Life Straw, one of the two. That's the thing about Life Straws. If you guys are Costco shoppers, they'll sell 3 packs of Life Straws. They always get them for like $50, and then they clearance them out at the end of the summer. They can't even give them away. Like $17 for 3 full-size Life Straw water filters, and they're normally $25 a pop. So you can get a good deal on that.
They get them at Sam's Club too.
Yep. Yeah. And when they're on sale, they're a great deal. It's like it's almost like you're getting one free if they're $49.99 for 3 instead of spending $75. And I've been tempted to go that route. I've only got one because I've got a Sawyer filter also with the pump and stuff on it. Here's a 45-liter 3-day assault pack is what they call it. That I don't know, doesn't look super comfortable. Maybe it's going to be more utilitarian than anything more based around the stuff you want to carry with you. But you got a lot of different options on here. So now what I want to do is I want to go and just reverse the search. So what are you going to get on the high end? I'm thinking we might be seeing some Maxpedition showing up in here and stuff like that. Holy God. Okay. So Singapore brand, $1,035, 80-liter mountaineering bag if you guys want to go hardcore. So
for that price, does somebody carry the bag for you? Dang.
Yeah, you could probably hire like a Sherpa or something to carry it. So
that's great if you're going to the top of Everest. I mean,
So I mean, I see this. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's wow. Okay, man. All right. I guess if you're gonna go to Singapore, that's the bag to have. So
it says Singapore right in the name. So I mean,
Singapore. Yeah, go to Singapore, and then I'm seeing what other brands that pop up on here. So that seems to be their top. And I told you guys that you can spend whatever you want on these things. So, and then you get into that's tack rig. Okay, now we'll kind of get out of the featured stuff because that's where they're just throwing random stuff at you to try to sell it to you. Hey, now we're going into like the full-on hiking packs, which I think is going to be overkill. Not that you couldn't make this work. I mean, Matt, if I spend $1,000 on a bag, it's going with me everywhere, right? That's all I got to say. I've never heard of this
lifetime warranty. I would hope.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would.
That price is it better.
Yeah. And I'm not filtered by a certain brand. I'm just filtering by price. I thought maybe like North Face and stuff would start popping up by now, but now we're in the $300-$400 range. So if you go to other places like Brownells or you go to Midway, you're going to see things like Maxpedition, and you're going to see, your more hunting, actual outdoor, branded items that are going to pop up, Columbia and stuff like that. So yeah, as you can see, you can pretty much spend whatever you want to. Yeah, this one's kind of cool. The Elidia outdoor backpack, fabric backpack, A3 backpack. I don't know if it's worth $336, but no, I don't understand the price. It honestly looks like something you pick up at Walmart for $50, but yeah. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that you have a lot of options. A lot of things to consider is, how far are you going out there? What kind of conditions are you going to be operating under? What kind of elements of the weather can you run into? Did you plan around your water? Do you have any food? Just little things like that are important to consider. Now, if you're going in like a state park, like on a 3-mile hike, it might be overkill to take, something like her with you, but anyway.
Well, another thing.
Did I say her? I meant to say the bag. Sorry. What's that?
Another thing too is if you want the extra weight for that much more of a workout, say you are going to go on a easy or moderate trail, 3 miles or less, and you're like, okay, I want to make this a little bit more work. I'll go ahead and wear the pack that I wear for a longer hike or an overnight hike or whatever, just for that extra workout.
Now we'll get serious. Your Maxpedition bags, kind of your, and that's part of it too, Squib, is I like the exercise aspect of the weight bearing and what it does for the conditioning for me. So Maxpedition, or I would say that's if you want to go kind of upper end, well-built bags, good warranty, these would be the way to go. And they're, you're going to spend $170, $175 on them, but they're very well built. I mean, they definitely put a lot into the design and so on. So yeah, you're looking at probably $200 for Maxpedition bag. You can go even more. This is just backpacks. I mean, you can spend, whatever you want on these, but Do you guys have any other brands you want to check out at all? Gary, what was the brand of bag you had? What was your favorite brand, or what's your go-to for your trade shows and stuff?
Voodoo Tactical.
Voodoo Tactical. I'm gonna see if I can bring that up real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, they make good stuff, Voodoo.
And yeah, that Savior Survival Systems, Elite Survival Systems are good too. So you go to voodootactical.com. Gary, do you have a code for these guys too?
I do not.
So VTC.
Some
Voodoo
of
Tactical
them are
Camo.
actually on Amazon, but not their entire line. That's
okay.
for sure.
Okay. Trying to see what here's packs and bags. I was trying to narrow it down so we can see what they have specifically. Yeah, commuter bags. That's kind of nice. They offer some more low-key stuff that you can have that's not so, not so tactical looking and stuff. And that's what I like about my big camping bag. What's that?
Mine's called a mini Tobago or a mini Tobago or however they pronounce that. But they have mine's kind of like the medium-sized bag. They've got a one way bigger than mine that you can get.
Yeah, I got a
Hydro Runner Recon pack.
I got a couple of their smaller packs that we use for like ear pro and stuff when we go to the range.
Oh wow! Okay, this is just another one of their backpack systems that they have. This one's called the Hydro Runner. Maybe has a water bladder in it and stuff. But so you got a lot of options. And again, it really just kind of comes down to in the end, what's your budget and what do you see yourself doing? I think we can maybe agree that the MilSerp route is not always the best way to go. You might think, oh man, it's good enough for the Army, it's good enough for me. Well, unless you're conditioned to and you know how to properly pack that load out, probably pass and go for something a little bit more comfortable. I mean, what I have with the cushioning on this and the cushioning on the straps, this is all day for me. I have no problems with this thing, and I'm no fatigue when I get done. I don't have back issues anyway, but here you go. John Z with Disability says Maxpedition also does buy one get one sales from time to time. That's a great deal. Yeah, check. Black Friday will be coming up here pretty soon, so maybe think about it. Might be a good time to look around at stuff. I do like it. I know that they've got some questionable practices, but REI, I've talked about REI before. I did their rain jacket video because they make LT sizes and they're always in stock in the store, which is nice because a lot of XLT, 2XLT, that's what I wear as an XLT. And a lot of times you can't get that in coats, different brands of coats in a store. Like Carhartt does it, but they're not always in stock. But REI does a lot of good. You're not going to get the tactical look because that's not what they're about. They're more about, they're more about hiking. They're more about mountain climbing, more like, North Face and Patagonia and stuff like that. But REI is cool. You got to go to their stores to get their stuff, and you have to have their little $30 lifetime membership if you want to shop in the REI store. But I'm not going to go there. You guys can look it up if you want to. And here's the deal with REI. This is what made a lot of people upset in our 2A community. REI carried a line of boot that they sold because they sell other brands. They don't just sell REI brands. The boot got bought out by Vista Outdoors. And so the hardcore REI people were freaking out saying, you can't carry their boots because that's a pro gun company, blah, blah, blah. So REI pulled the boots, won't carry that brand of boot because Vista Outdoors owns that brand. Or one of the big umbrella companies that owns like a dozen companies bought that boot company. I don't know who it was exactly, but that was kind of some controversy about REI. So a lot of people gave up on REI that are in our community, even though they make good, solid, gear that works well. But I mean, you got to pick your battles. Every corporation's dirty and does something bad. You're never going to find anything.
Hey, Travis.
No, that's not a Liberty Safe over there.
Okay, I was about to say,
no,
might as well jump on the bandwagon with that crap.
No Liberty Safes for me. So that's a whole nother ball. I don't even want to go down. There's 75 YouTube videos on it now. So,
jump on the bandwagon.
I mean, let's be honest. If they really want your safe, they'll shoot you, your dog, and take your safe anyway. It doesn't matter. It does not matter in the end because if they want it, they'll take it. They don't care. Say, come and get it. That's fine, but they're going to get your safe in the end if they want it. It doesn't matter. They can cut it open, guys. It's not hard. All right. It's not like the code is the only element of your freedom. If they want you for something and they got a warrant for it, I'm not defending Liberty. I'm just saying let's be honest here. So yeah, if you don't want to support them for giving up the codes, now they're offering options to get your code scrambled or something so it'll never be revealed. I mean, if you think the feds are never going to get into your safe if there's something in there they want.
Well, it's just like the iPhone, right? Apple was like, no, you're going to have to get a court order. And even then they didn't.
And they did crack it. They gave it to the FBI.
Paid a teenager to crack the uncrackable. Everybody's like, I've got my iPhone. You can't ever really. Your
child can probably open your safe and you wouldn't even know. They just like go short it up. They get a 9-volt battery, 2 wires, and it opens up and the lights turn on. And,
there's an app for it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about this on Gary's show last night. In a roundabout way, Liberty Safe did the guy a favor. Because if they wouldn't have gave him the code, they were going to cut that safe open. Now the guy still has the safe and didn't have to worry about it being cut open.
I wonder if they contacted him and said, "Hey, the feds are coming for you," and then he had a chance to go do whatever he was doing. So yeah,
They opened up and found out there was nothing in there except
that would be
paperwork.
hilarious. That would be so funny if it was just
It's like
a super soakers in there, you know.
Yeah, like Al Capone's secret vault. They get there and there's nothing there.
in
You
there.
know,
A couple of
they got
sports cards
Geraldo and the FBI, and they're going, well, now
like a
what?
banana
You know?
peel, you know. Hey guys, so Single Shot's joining us, but Single Shot, we're gearing up to wrap up. We've been going for an hour and a half, and
Oh shit!
P11's got to get his day going on, brother. So so how you doing, sir? How's it going? Are you good?
Oh, we're doing all right. We're
All right.
doing the regular thing there. Headed out towards Muncie. Got to be out there Monday morning. So
Okay.
got
okay.
a beautiful but warm and humid day up here in Maine. So
Oh man, we're sitting at a beautiful 63 degrees and no humidity here in Nebraska. It was 55 this morning. Oh my God, it's gorgeous out. I want 6 months of this. So Single Shot, real quick, I got to ask you, since everybody else had a chance to chime in, hiking, camping, did you ever, or do you have a preference for like a hiking pack or a day pack or a backpack, like a brand or something that worked for you when you go somewhere, when you had to take a backpack for something? What did you do? And I'm not talking school, like hiking, outdoors. Did you ever have a preference at all? What's that?
yeah, well, most of my stuff has all been by military backpack equipment stuff. But I like the smaller ones that will hold a bunch of stuff, but it's not too bulky. So that would put it into that class of stuff that I'd like to use.
Yeah.
So.
And as we showed today, as we went through a bunch of different options, you can spend as little as $12, or you can spend $1,200 if you want to on a bag. So it all depends on what your budget is and what you're planning for. Like, are you going to go up the summit, or are you just going to go for a walk through the park? You know? So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So MC here's got the mic drop comment of the day. I only keep a copy of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in my Liberty safe. So well said. Well said. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go ahead and call it. I think we're here. So we had a lot of fun today. We talked about everything as usual. Next week, we're going to talk about essential gear for the hike. Like, what do you put in the bag? And then after that, we'll kind of end the series on hiking, because we've never really discussed it ever on Caliber Corner. We've had like gun bag discussions, and we've had bug out bag discussions and stuff, but never just something fun, especially kind of going into the fall. I'm looking at getting out there a lot more now that mosquitoes and the ticks will start to disappear and so on. So there we go. All right. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let's let the panel give us their final plugs, and then we will see you guys next Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. So, Rich, we're going to start off with you. Get your plugs out there. Anything you want to say to the audience out there before we go?
Yeah, well, John Z, he's been having a lot of problems. He says he doesn't get to go hiking anymore. Come over here, John. We got a state park that has wheelchair accessible hiking trails and stuff, man. You can come. You can still go hiking. You just got to find some place that's wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, right on, dude. Yeah, exactly. So, Rich, appreciate you being here, man. It's good having you on the show and stuff, and get your insight on things. And you guys with your prior military experience, because here I'm looking at these Alice, frame packs, thinking, oh, this is gonna be great, Then I'll put it on. It's like, ooh, my love handles don't like this, It's like,
yeah, my son, he bought an Alice frame to put his Ghostbuster pack on. When because he's got one of the nice recreation
the
proton packs, and I told him, man, you're gonna regret it. But he's a lot smaller than I am, so he's like, no, it works good for me. Okay.
Well, hiking through the Halloween party, it'll be a little bit different than taking that sucker off into the woods for it all day.
Oh, that proton pack he has some weight to it.
I bet. Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, because it's got all the nice fancy lights and makes all the sounds and stuff like the real ones did in the movies.
Cosplay for accessories. I just about bought a $500 Halo Master Chief costume that has everything. It freaking looks so cool. It's got all the armor and everything. And I was gonna get the battle rifle, but I didn't think I wanted to drop $700 on a Halloween costume this year. So I'm just gonna go as a bottom feeder YouTuber this year. I'll just put my hat on. I'll just slap whatever patch I want on the front of it, my Every Second Matters hat, and then I'll just go as a non-celebrity for Halloween this year. So
Squid was talking about how the prices on all that Alice stuff went up. He paid $100 for that Alice frame.
For the frame?
Dude, that's par for that's frame. What they cost. That's what they cost. Guys, that side I was showing you was like $80 just for the frame. Or if you wanted it with the pack, it was $149. And then $249 if you want the next gen pack that they use. So yeah, this stuff is nuts. So, all righty. Gizzard Gary, I don't know if you're still with us. You said you got to go hit the post office, but yeah, man. What do
Yeah.
you think?
Well, I think it's been a good show. I had a lot of good, interesting discussion. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Check out my my podcast on Friday night, Foul Territory, 9 p.m. If you're not familiar with my channel. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I do have to run to the post office. Luckily, this is a tiny town, so it's
Across the
like
street.
a mile. Well, it's not across the street, but it's not that far.
Yeah. That's all right, man.
All
Well, I
righty.
appreciate your insight on the bags because as somebody who carries bags all day, whether it's hiking or not, there's no difference whether you're pushing 10 miles at Trigger Con or you're pushing 10 miles out on the trail. I mean, you're still bearing weight the whole day. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Appreciate the suggestion. So thanks for being here, dude. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we got the squib load. So the squib loadout. What do you think, man?
It's kind of interesting talking about packs and gear and some of the things you can do with it outside of just hiking, kind of making it a multi-purpose, especially at the prices some of these things, can be.
Oh,
if you can do more with it than just hike, I think that's good. Overall, I think you kind of covered everything with it. So pretty good show.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. All right. And give a little shout out there on the YouTube side. John Z's out there talking about something in his love life that's going on out there. You guys might want to go check that comment out there. So there you go. All right. So we got Tony York out there. We got John Z, New York Outcast with disabilities in the house. No actual New York Outcast appearance today. I'm disappointed. So maybe he'll show up at some point and watch. Ozzy Osbourne, I'm out there. MC's out there. We had Revolver Comics. Oh, Vanquist packs also. Yeah. Revolver Comics, that I guess I didn't notice you. I apologize for that. Didn't see it earlier. Gizzard Gary, Ozzy Osbourne in the house, Snake Doctor 78 with us today. I think we had Gunmetal Guy USA watching also. Defense Dad. You guys on the panel are also out there interacting with the audience. Thanks for doing that. Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy. Rich White, Squibload, Razor JB in the house. Tommy Gunn joining us from the land up north. Kristen the 740. Kevin June with us today also. Good to see you guys out there. I didn't see any tacos and French fries. Tacos and French fries might show up at some point. M. Gabriel in the house. Tactical Fud's with us today, too. Always good to have Tactical Fud joining in. I think that's probably about it. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I apologize, but we're going to go ahead and call it. So this is Travis B11. This is episode number 295, part 2, Take a Hike, Essentials for Enjoying the Outdoors, fall of 2023, episode number 295, season 6. And you guys have fun, be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. Bye,
Bye, Alicia.
Bye.